It's space weather! Looking at the solar disk in 171 angstroms. Re-examine this little magnetic anomaly we have here on the southeastern limb. Let's see where that's gone in the past 12 hours. I think it's released now, so that's going to be gone now off the... You're not going to see that anymore. I think it's collapsed. Magnetically collapsed, which means the corona has sort of reinflated there. Looking at 304 angstroms. Filamentary activity. No sunspots. And what's the real story? The real story is continuing earthquake risk for the Bay Area, California, around San Francisco, as well as northern Los Angeles. And we've got a coronal hole. It's the North Pole coronal hole, and the Earth has magnetically connected to it, as we predicted last night. Here are your magnetic lines. We still do have a magnetic concentration down here in the southeast. So that has not fully collapsed yet. Be keeping an eye on that one as this active region sets on the west equatorial region. Let's look at the weather. The space weather news, that is, at spaceweathernews.com. We can see the X-ray flux is still flatlined. I think we had a B-class flare, 10 days ago maybe? Now, here's what we predicted last night, yesterday afternoon, whenever it was. See this phi angle up here? That's the northern coronal hole. We have a wind stream coming in now. We're getting a little uptick in the temperature and the wind speed, which means we're receiving some coronal hole wind stream from the previous coronal hole, the one that's kind of in the center, a little to the south. A little bit of magnetic perturbations on the magnetometer, and the KP is back to 0. So the cosmic ray warning is back to as high as it gets. KP of 0. Got a little down spike in the electron flux. Looks like it's going to be a little less than it was yesterday, and it's on its way back up. Now let's look at the earthquake situation. Head to quakes.globalincidentmap.com. Look at the last 8 hours. We had a 4.5 off the coast of Bandon, Oregon. So the force is moving down the plate boundary as expected, and we are still expecting a quake probably in the mid-4s to lower 5 range for San Francisco or Los Angeles, or possibly both, as the slow slip continues. We had a 4.4 in Turkey. That's pretty rare. 3 fairly large earthquakes for Alaska. Pretty rare there. Got a 5.1 in Papua New Guinea just an hour and a half ago. Moving on. Take a look at the geospace. Look at the magnetic perturbations over the poles, as there have been some. We may not check this one every day, but we will put links to all of these sources in the description below. Looks like we're still at 199 subscribers. Never made it to 200. At least have not yet made it to 200. Now, let's talk about another X-ray source. also in the constellation Cygnus, Cygnus X-1. Largely believed to be the first black hole. We're not going to say black hole, we're just going to call it an X-ray source. It is a massive object. It is rotating around a blue giant star, very similar to the way X3 is, just at a much slower speed and a much greater distance. It was discovered in 1964 during a rocket flight. And it's a very famous X-ray source. And here is where it is located in the constellation Cygnus. That map doesn't look right. Anyway, here's what X1 looks like through the Chandra X-ray scope. It's accretion disk right there, heating gas up to massive temperatures, spewing it out. And also we have transient analysis for Cygnus X1. Because this is a intragalactic X-ray source that has been studied for a long time, and it's still being studied always. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Please like and share the videos and subscribe to the channel. Get us over 200 subscribers. It seems like a real slog getting there, doesn't it? Anyway, thanks everybody who has subscribed and commented on the videos. More coming out daily. Let's do a close-up of the coronal hole. Remember, on your way studying coronal holes, don't drink. And if you drink, study coronal holes anyway, because they're very interesting.